One person buys. One person sells. Same stock, same second, same price. One believes it's worth owning. The other believes it's worth leaving. They're looking at the same company, the same public information, and they make opposite decisions. One make buy, and other make sell decision. So which one is wrong? The uncomfortable answer is maybe neither, because every trade hides something the price never shows you. Two different goals, two different risks, two different clocks, and sometimes two completely different futures. We call it a market, but look closer, and every trade is an invisible war. Ask almost anyone why a stock price rises, and you'll hear the same answer. More buyers than sellers. Simple, obvious, but incomplete. Because think about what actually happens when a trade is completed. For someone to buy, someone must sell. 100 shares bought means 100 shares sold. So if every completed trade contains both, how can there be more buyers than sellers? Maybe we've been asking the wrong question, because prices don't move simply because one side exists in greater numbers. They move because one side becomes more urgent. No trade can execute until someone moves. They move because one side becomes more urgent. No trade can execute until someone moves. The buyer didn't become more numerous. He became more aggressive. He stopped waiting for the seller's price to come down and went up to meet it. And if buyers keep doing that, they consume what's available at one price. Then the next, and suddenly, the chart rises. But now there's a bigger problem, because behind every green candle, someone was still selling. So why would someone sell while the price is rising? The obvious answer is, he thinks the price will fall. But what if it doesn't? What if he thinks the stock will keep rising and still sells anyway? But why? Maybe he's retiring tomorrow. He doesn't need a prediction. He needs money. Maybe it's a pension fund, and the stock performed too well. So the fund is forced to sell some of it. Maybe it's a hedge fund, closing a profitable position. Not because the future looks bad, but because the trade is finished. Or maybe it's an index fund, which needs to reshuffle when index changed. Sometimes, the person on the other side isn't an investor, but an algorithm. We imagined one market, two sides. Buyers against sellers. But they aren't playing one game. They're playing different games on the same field. Same stock, same price, same seconds of execution, but different goals, different risks, different clocks. And this creates an even stranger question. If everyone is solving a different problem, what exactly does this price mean? Is it the value of the company, or just the price at which two different needs happen to meet? $186.42. We call it the price, but what exactly is it measuring? Is it what the company is worth? Can all of that really be reduced to one number? A stock rises, and billions are created. It falls, and billions disappear. But disappear from where? Imagine this. At 9:30 this morning, the company owns 12 factories, 10,000 employees, millions of customers. At 9:45, the stock falls 12%. But look again, the factories are still there. The employees are still working. The customers didn't vanish. So what exactly lost $12 billion? The answer is uncomfortable. The business may not have changed. But what people are willing to pay for it did change, and sometimes even the person selling may not have changed their opinion about the company at all, but still sell. Maybe volatility increased. Maybe a risk limit was breached. Maybe investors needed cash. Maybe an index changed. Maybe leverage forced someone out. And suddenly, price begins telling us something very different. Price isn't a universal agreement about what something is worth. It's the point where two opposite decisions happen to meet, only for an instant, because 1 second later, different people arrive, with different information, different fears, different needs, different clocks. So perhaps a market price isn't a verdict, it's an auction that never ends, where millions of different futures compete for the present, the most dangerous question of all. If price isn't a final verdict on value, then why do we treat every price movement as information? One person bought, one person sold, same price, same stock, at exactly same second. Then, which one was wrong? Now we know the question itself was incomplete, because they may not have been predicting the same future. They may not have had the same goal. They may not even have been playing the same game. A buyer may be right today or wrong, or a seller may be right today or wrong, because a trade doesn't tell you what someone believes. It tells you only what they did. Every trade is a meeting point with two different goals, two different risks, meeting for one instant at one price.